I am Tim.
And I'm Cam.
And this is the Tim Cam Show. So today we're going to be talking about manual therapy. Cam, tell us a little bit about that.
So manual therapy is any massage, mobilization, manipulation that we do, not dry needling, not acupuncture, just for a talk today.
Yeah, we see manual therapy a lot in the clinic, out of the clinic. You've probably heard of it, seen it at the gym. It's a very controversial topic. It's hard to replicate in the research. We don't know a ton about it, but it's a heated debate.
So what we're going to do today is we're going to take our tin cans. Tim and Cam are going to take a couple calls from our listeners.
Hey Tim and Cam, I'm Evan. I'm a recent grad of the physio program and I'm really confused about manual therapy because we learn a ton about it in our classes and we learn a bunch of techniques and stuff, but now that I'm working and doing research, it seems like manual therapy doesn't actually do anything. So should I be using it at all?
Does he know there's no water in there?
So great first question from caller number 1. Well, manual therapy certainly has some short-term effects, perhaps not the effects you would quite expect. Now, when you think of manual therapy, it's important to think of that we are acting on the muscle and the area we are physically touching, but through doing that, we're also acting on your nervous system and communicating with your brain and spinal cord. And through this communication, we're able to globally affect the body and help it relax, decrease our response to pain, and decrease our excitability to pain.
I don't know if I can quite get behind that, Tim. After doing my reading, I was seeing that there's actually no long-term effects at all of manual therapy when you compare it to a control or placebo. So if we're not getting long-term effects, I don't see why we would be doing that in clinical practice.
Whoa.
We're going to start with our next caller.
So I'm confused. I've been going to physio for 2 straight years for this shoulder injury. And the only thing that makes my physio worthwhile is when he releases my traps. And I do these things all day, every day, and they don't do anything. So what do you think about that?
Well, it's really good to hear from a patient because that's one of the big reasons that we actually use manual therapy in the clinics, because it makes the patients happy, keeps them coming in, lets them do their exercises. Even if it doesn't really do anything long term, it's still a really good tool to actually continue to see our patients in the clinic.
And that's why it becomes kind of a tricky situation with manual therapy. It offers you those short-term benefits like we had previously talked about, and really gives you that window of opportunity so that you can capitalize on some meaningful rehab to get some meaningful strength gains to hopefully get some long-term solutions. And like we kind of heard from our first caller, you don't want to become a revolving door Rachel and keep going in for years on end to receive manual therapy.
Speaking of callers, here's our third caller.
Very interesting podcast so far. However, I feel like your first caller has a typical new therapist mentality in that he only factors in research in his clinical decision making. I feel like in clinical practice, we factor in the triad, which is the relationship between the therapist, the patient, and research, and also not to mention the therapeutic alliance.
And I think we lost him.
Hey, thanks for calling in. That was a great third last caller. Really helped bring together some of the major points we talked about, and certainly we cannot forget that important triad in our day-to-day clinical experience.
I completely agree. We need to use manual therapy more as a tool in our clinical decision making and to achieve those patient goals that we're trying to get. I also think it's really good for getting that therapeutic alliance we're looking for and just helping people feel better.
Absolutely, but unfortunately it looks like day's about almost dusk, and that kind of got a curtain call for the Tim and Cam Show. But hey, next time you're at home scratching your dog's ears, just wonder, hey, what is really going on here? I'm Tim.